So it's been a while since I've hiked. I decided today to head down to Clearwater Lake, which conveniently is the start of my bike ride, which I'll be doing next week. Just scope out the area and some points of interest and get a better idea of what I'm getting myself into. Also, Clearwater Lake is beautiful. So as you can see from the beginning of the video, we were blessed with rain. I'm very excited for that. And if you've been following this channel at all, you know I love to hike in the rain. It's also worth mentioning, it's August 18th, and when I left it was 54 degrees outside. Very great day to hike. You may have also noticed I now have a chest holster. Being in grizzly country, it's a good idea to have multiple levels of protection. We've already seen several attacks and even one fatality this year already. I don't want to be one of them. Bear mace is always your best line of defense with a bear encounter. You should always exercise using that first. It's usually a pretty good deterrent. And coming down to the lake. That is a beautiful lake. So I've never done this trail in its entirety. It's a very short trail. It goes around the lake. And on the other side, we should get some very good views of the Swan Mountains. The underbrush is pretty thick back here, and because of that, my pants are soaked from the knees down. I can tell you this rain is a very welcome sight. It's brought cooler weather, and also should help with all the fires we have in the area. Look at the fog on that lake. It is extremely quiet and still out here. No breeze, no noise but the sound of water and birds. Utterly serene. No water in the creek bed. You can definitely tell it's been a very dry summer for us. By the looks of this trail, I'd say that it's not very heavily trafficked. Look at this mangled mess of a tree that had fallen. This trail is a little bit hard to follow. I'm gonna check out Onyx Hunt. Looks like I'm close to the trail. Love this app, by the way. It's always exciting to explore new areas that I haven't been before. I've been by here several times. We even hiked to the lake once. But the trail around the perimeter I've never done. It's absolutely beautiful. Relatively easy to hike. Hardly any elevation gain. Thought I heard something. And as long as you can see the lake, you're on the right path. As I've said before, the rain seems to make everything so much more beautiful. It seems to bring a completely different look and feel to the forest. More calm, more still, more peaceful. Don't let the short sleeves fool you. It's cold. It's a damp cold. but after the heat wave we've been enduring, I'll take it. I hear running water and a bridge. All right, we got some fresh running water. Let's try out this life straw thing. I have it attached to this hydro flask. Not the freshest looking water. Okay, I'm really hoping not to get Giardia. Okay, so the water's pretty good. Definitely have no taste or odor, but it does take quite a bit to get some water through the straw and through the filter. I absolutely love rustic bridges. So while I like the idea of the life straw as a backup, in practice, it's much more complicated than the MSR MiniWorks filter. That being said, if you're in a pinch, the life straw does get you clean, fresh water. And one last thing as a downside to the life straw is once you put contaminated water in your bottle, it's contaminated until you clean it. So you can't use that for fresh filtered water anymore. You have to use the life straw. We're coming up on the opposite side of the lake, and we're getting the Swan Mountains in the background. Look at that. Beautiful view. That was an amazing view. And in my opinion, I think the hanging clouds make it all the better. Man, this is an absolutely gorgeous lake. Just look at that view. I think I'll have to hike this one again in the fall, right before the snow hits, because I imagine the colors back here would be amazing. All right, it's getting pretty cold. Time to break out the sweater. So it's always very important, hiking in Montana, regardless of the time of year, that you're prepared for what could happen. As I said, it started out cold and wet, and it's only gotten colder. All right, that's a little bit better. My legs are still soaked in cold, but still well worth the hike. It's interesting how the plants can change in such a short span of time. We've got ferns on this side of the lake. Oh, I love ferns. These are beautiful. My dad always loved ferns. Had quite a few planted in the yard when I was a kid. So of all the wildlife I could run into and encounter out here, the one I'm most weary of is a moose, specifically a bull moose. Bears tend to be pretty predictable, and the mace is a pretty good defense against it. Mountain lions are also worrisome, but you rarely ever see them. Not to say that they're not out here and they're still not a pretty deadly threat. But moose, you could walk up on a moose and he might already be angry. And at that point, you look for a tree. I was trying to remember the last time I actually did a traditional hike. Ever since I started biking this summer, it has become my obsession. I do miss it. For me, you get so much clarity when you're surrounded by wilderness, especially when it's peaceful. In a world full of social obligations, it's nice to be out here. So I'd be lying if I said I felt I was fully confident to take on this bike trip. You're never really fully prepared for any journey or adventure you go on. Sometimes it's best to learn as you go, pick up skills along the way, understand where your capabilities lie. For me, my summer has been filled with those learning opportunities. And I'm very thankful for those opportunities that I've had. And I'm very thankful for the experiences I've gained this summer. This journey was kind of a spontaneous trip. It manifested very quickly. I wasn't ready for it when I thought about doing it. And now that I am doing it, I'm not ready for it now. But I'm gonna get on that bike. I'm gonna climb those hills, even if it means walking. I'm curious what life lessons I'll learn coming out on the other side of this experience and where it will take me from there. It's quite the endeavor, and I'd be lying if I said I weren't mildly intimidated by it. But that's how a lot of things are in life. You kind of jump in head first and learn to swim as you're struggling. I'm excited to see where this adventure takes me and where I go from here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video from the bike trail.